We are live from NB Highland. Welcome. My name is Alex Riley, and we're here to do a Transformotion exercise. And we're very excited today because, as you know, we got Kristen and Martha with us today, but we have a special guest. Yay! Yay!
Oh, it's me.
It's me. It's you. It's Luis Estrada from El Centro Inc. And if you don't know Luis, you should get to know him. He is, well, of course, an awesome husband and father, but he's also a community activist. He is a community mobilizer with El Centro Inc. And so we're really excited to have him here. Oh, he's also an artist. How could I forget that? He's also an artist. So we're really excited to thank you for being here with us
I'm
today.
very excited to be here today. I'm always a fan, obviously. I always get to watch now. I get to be part of the Transformotion. Yes, it's amazing. Thank you very much for having me today.
Great.
So Luis, tell us what we're going to be brainstorming on with you today.
Okay, we're going to be brainstorming a little something that's more familiar along the lines of what I do. So right now I'm focusing on voter engagement because in the past elections there hasn't been enough involvement, enough people getting involved in the process, and we're left to kind of wonder why. So now it's time to kind of start brainstorming a little bit about ideas how we can get these individuals involved in the process so we could, start building and start being more active in our community and every aspect of it.
Okay, great.
So before we jump into the brainstorm, we always recommend that you do an icebreaker to kind of set the tone and the mood for the brainstorm, to energize your brains and make sure that everybody feels comfortable. So today we're going to be playing with Play-Doh. What we're going to do is I'm going to put a timer for 60 seconds. And what we're going to do is create your spirit animal. So whatever that is, you've got 60 seconds to make it, and then we're going to share what we made and why.
Wait, you guys need to get your Play-Doh
Wait,
out.
I know, mine's
I've got
it's a
defective
little-
Play-Doh
A
here.
little tricky. That's why I started working on mine a little bit in advance because
It's not as easy as scooping cookie dough out. That's
You're
what I'm
right,
doing
and
now.
don't eat it because it won't taste as good either.
Okay.
I wonder what would happen if we did the same exercise with cookie dough,
Ooh.
and then
Oh.
afterwards you could bake your spirit animal.
Okay,
Yes.
Eat it.
I'll
seems
sign up
wrong.
for that now.
Okay, when's our timer going? Or is it already started?
It's not started yet. Does
Okay.
everybody have their Play-Doh ready?
All right.
Okay,
yeah.
it is
Okay.
ready. Get your
Ready?
Play-Doh at home, everybody.
Ready and go.
Okay. Oh my gosh, it's so quiet. We're all concentrating.
Mine's gonna be awesome. Maybe.
35 seconds left.
Oh, the pressure!
Pressure.
Done! That was
Oh
fast.
man, overachiever.
20 seconds left.
Mine is not to scale.
Oh, I know what it is. It's very nice.
Thank you.
I'm cheating. I'm using a pen as a tool.
That's not cheating. That's improvisation.
Okay, that's
Time's up.
time. Okay, oops, we're done. Okay, so who wants to share what they made first?
You do.
You do.
Okay, well, I made a little bear for my spirit animal. He looks pretty goofy, but the reason I chose a bear as my spirit animal is because they're just so big, warm, and cuddly, and they're humble, and they love honey. So that's why I chose a bear for mine.
All
Good
right.
choice.
Well, good job. I like your bear. I chose, if you could get that closer.
Yeah.
I
Ooh.
made an
Wow.
owl.
Oh,
Or at least
really
what I
good.
think is an
Nice.
owl. And I chose an owl because an owl's very observant prior to eating lunch. So.
Okay.
Yes, they are. That's good.
And I made a humpback whale, and the reason
That is really
That
good.
is
is
really.
good.
and the
Look at
the
this
reason is I just returned from a trip to Alaska, and I got to see humpback whales, and they're amazing. And the way they feed and they cooperate together, they do this feeding thing. It's called bubble feeding, where they make bubble circles that keep the fish kind of in an area, and then all the whales come up and start gulping massive amounts of water, and then they have these balleens. They don't have teeth, they have balleens, and they will squeak out. They have to spit up anything that's too big, but they squish out all the water and swallow down all the tiny krill and fish.
That
So
is
anyway,
really interesting.
they were just really cool and smart, and anyway, beautiful creatures.
Nice job.
Okay, well, I did a hummingbird, and I'm just fascinated by the hummingbirds, especially this summer. I've got them flying outside my kitchen window, and I don't like how they don't share, okay? They're kind of territorial, so they need to work on their sharing capabilities, but I love how they can fly huge distances, and they're so tiny, but they're mighty. So I find that inspiration. All right,
Opposites
so
here.
Are we ready to brainstorm now?
yeah, we're ready. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to set up the brainstorm. We're going to do an exercise today from our full circle Transformotion in a box. And this, excuse me, not the full circle, I made that up. It's actually the opposites attract. So this one is going to be called odd couples. Now this exercise helps us think about odd pairings of organizations or people or things to help us come up with some new ways to solve our problem, to get our message out there or do something. So Luis was talking about more voter engagement. So the first thing we would want to do is just ask, who is the audience that you're wanting to get more involved with voting?
Well, my audience at the moment is the unengaged voter, the one that's eligible to vote but just doesn't make it out of their door.
Okay.
And there's, they have plenty of reasons why they don't, but I think nowadays everybody has something that they look forward to, and sometimes those things that they look forward to are no longer available because nobody was involved, so there wasn't someone to speak up for them to be involved, right?
Okay.
So we try to see if we can engage them to say, hey, this most important thing that you have that you look forward to might not be available if you don't speak up and say, I want to be part of that, or I'd
Okay.
like to be involved with that.
Okay, so tell us more about those people. Are they a certain age? Do they, where do they live? What is their life like?
Right now, it's mostly focused in, my focus is in the Latino community. So the
Okay.
Spanish-speaking person that probably is eligible to vote, but doesn't understand that they are, or how important their vote is, or even the one that's not eligible to vote, how important it is for them to be involved and help in the process, or at least volunteer. Volunteer work does a lot of wonders when it comes to voting engagement, so we
Okay.
at least try to get them involved in that process.
Okay.
So youth, especially the youth, because it
Youth,
is their
okay.
future that, everything that gets voted on, it's voted for their future,
Okay.
for whatever benefit might come of, electing the right official or getting the right organization in place to be able to provide resources.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So a lot of times when we're doing this in our workbook, we outlined some different groups of audiences that we might use to kind of spur us starting. And so one of those would be enthusiast or affinity groups. So who are some enthusiast groups that might share some characteristics with Latino youth, Spanish speaking or not, or
Like, well, what would one way be if they have, what kinds of clubs are they most involved in? So
Mhm.
if you're starting with youth, can you start with kids in high school and get those, as soon as they turn 18, most kids, they might have certain rituals that they follow when they turn 18.
Uh-huh.
What it used to be before, now it's 21 is maybe the other age, but they can vote when they're 18, so maybe it's high school Spanish clubs. And
Okay.
high school, maybe there's also cultural groups, like Hispanic cultural groups within the high schools, especially schools that have more Hispanic students. And reach them there, and then they go home and tell their parents, hey, I got registered to vote today at school, are you registered to vote?
Uh-huh.
That
Um,
sounds amazing.
Oh,
yes.
that's a good
That's
idea.
a good idea.
So the kids can put pressure on their parents.
You get them involved,
Uh-huh.
yes. It's like we're working. That works, yeah.
So what other clubs, like if you're thinking about your group, are there some clubs that you can think of that they might be involved with?
They're possibly involved in their youth group at their local church, or
okay.
maybe even coming out, in high school there's after school activities
Uh-huh.
that they might be involved with. That's a possibility that you could reach out and try to speak with them that way too, and get them involved, get them the information. Just make it a little more attractive for them to understand that it's important.
Uh-huh.
What about recreational baseball and softball groups? Like if you
Oh,
have,
yeah.
is that something that would be popular in your community where you could reach
Or soccer.
players
Or
and
soccer,
fans and soccer,
yes.
like any kind of sport that's a club, that's an adult club activity where you can reach adults and get them where you've got a group of passionate fans, and would that be a place to
That would be.
activate, especially if you can get like a celebrity
Oh.
endorsement, like a celebrity, I'm thinking
Ooh,
about, it's like, who are the
that's a
best
fun idea.
baseball players in the world? Can they connect more authentically in the Hispanic community?
Definitely.
You know what I keep thinking of is youth entrepreneurs. That is a group of
Ooh.
young adults who are go-getters and who would really, I think, enjoy that type of information and really move it forward. I think they would be really good advocates.
That is a great idea. Youth entrepreneurs.
That is a great idea.
What else? Could we?
Go ahead.
I was wondering if we could think of some nonprofits that might share a similar mission.
There is, I believe, a couple around town, and I'm just barely getting new to the nonprofit world.
Uh-huh.
So this is my first year in nonprofit work. So there is probably organizations out there that I could think of that I could reach out to and start brainstorming with them on ideas that we could mutually attract
Uh-huh.
an audience to be able to help to do this work. That'd be great.
That could be a powerful partnership.
Definitely.
Well, and if you could do that, there might be ways. Hi, Caitlin. Thanks for joining us. Hey, there might be some ways that it's win-win. So you get involved with the nonprofit, and they're helping you get your message to your audience, but you're also helping get their message to your audience. So if United Way is wanting to get more young people involved in helping them get their message out, or if it's Boys and Girls Club and they're wanting some really good role models to get involved and help their younger kids, maybe your audience could step in and be some of those good role models. And I'm thinking about that thing. Do they still do that in school, Kids Voting Kansas, where the kids get to go with their parents when the parents go into the polls and actually vote?
Maybe.
Like, what if you
Possibly,
could
and
do
if not,
something?
we could kickstart it up again.
Yeah. So what if you could do something like that, where your young people were mentoring some of those Boys and Girls Club kids and taking them and saying, hey, look, this is what it's like to go vote, or this is what it's like to register. It's not that hard, and look what you get to do and why it's important. And so those kids look up to those young 20s or those older teenagers and say, oh, I want to be like him.
Yeah, that's actually amazing that you could, that's a great example of leading by example, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking, sorry, I'm jumping back to enthusiast groups and thinking about live music events.
Ooh.
If you nationally there's been that campaign, I think on MTV, Rock the Vote, and a lot of very famous musicians. But could you get local musicians who are performing, and that would reach a voter audience, because if they have to be 21 and over, or even 18 and over, then those are voting age people, and encourage them to register to vote.
What if you host an event, kind of a rally event with music and food and a presentation? I think that would be
It's
fun.
happening in my brain
Yeah.
right now as we're speaking. It's
That would
actually
sure
a
get
great
people
idea.
excited.
Definitely.
Especially if they want to come see a band they like,
Yeah.
and
Right.
food
Oh,
they
yeah.
like.
It's
Yeah.
great stuff.
That could be really fun. And I liked the idea, Alex, that you were talking about sports stars that people look up to. And of course there's national stars, and some of them make an effort to come around and do local things. But we've also got local people
Local
in the
celebrities.
schools and in the colleges that people look up to, and they know, oh, so-and-so is a really great athlete. Again, sort of that leading by example, or that endorsement, that maybe we could get some of them to share on their social media with all their followers. Hey, I'm voting, I'm registered, or when he or she goes to vote and they get the sticker, I voted, to be sharing that on their social media, just sort of creating that where we're talking about it all the time.
Yep, and it sticks, and then they're like, well, maybe now I should go and vote. Yes.
That's what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What about any other clubs that we haven't thought about?
We talked about Boys and Girls Club. We talked about sporting clubs.
Mhm.
What about some of the student newspaper clubs? I mean, you know, college and high school, the press is supporting democracy, right? They're
Mhm.
supposed to be helping us be informed and help us educate ourselves so that we can be informed citizens and good voters. I wonder if those kinds of clubs might be good and influential in helping get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Encourage them to put the info out there. Yeah.
exactly, and then motivate them with words. Yes.
Is your focus Shawnee County?
It is Shawnee County.
So, what about Washburn University?
That would be
Because
great at
we're here
Washburn.
and because they have a number of students, it'd be interesting to know what the breakout is, who are from Shawnee County. They're not all from out of town.
Uh-huh.
That get as many of those college age kids register to vote, so that make sure they get out and vote, so their voices can be heard.
So we're possibly like I believe they have a Halo Club in Washburn
Okay.
University, which is Hispanic American Teen Leadership Organization. That's right.
Okay.
Reach out
Alright.
to them and probably work on some more voter engagement work
Mhm.
together, especially since they're on campus.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, we haven't talked about churches yet either. Just
Oh
'cause
yeah, Luis touched on it, but we didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Take that further. What were you
Well,
thinking?
well, a lot of times churches are voting sites, and maybe
Uh-huh.
some of our audience, okay, let's just face it, not all the audiences go to church. But, you know what I just thought of? Because this is an event coming up at my church. They're having the Night Out Against Crime.
Oh.
And like what my church is doing, I think a lot of sites are similar. They're gonna have free food. They have those bouncy houses and pony rides. And we're in Tennessee town where a lot of the people that come to this event don't necessarily go to the church, but they come there and they come and enjoy all the free family-friendly activities. How great would it be if they could, if they can't register to vote on site, just pick up a card that, I don't know, whatever that process is to get
Or
registered.
even a
to
pledge
vote.
card, or
Yeah.
out pledge to volunteer to phone bank, or any of the other
Mhm.
activities that
Mhm.
they're able to do without needing to. I mean, if they're
I
already
can hook you up
registered.
if you want, or if you have a different location you're looking for, to have feet on the ground.
That sounds great.
Yeah, that's coming
So,
up.
and if you wanted to go further, then those youth group ministers at the different churches, some of them have very active youth groups. So that would be a good thing. And I think, as long as we weren't trying to persuade anybody in any certain way, but we say, educate yourselves, register or vote, I
Right.
think everybody can
Yeah,
support
all my
that.
work is nonpartisan, so
Yeah.
I don't try to manipulate which way they're gonna, they want to think. It's just
Uh-huh.
getting them involved. And
Just
getting
get
them
him,
in the process,
I think that's really important. So, also, what about just, your people who are already on board that are your advocates? I was thinking about, could we create some kind of a little social media button that people could post to their Twitter or their Instagram or their Facebook or whatever that says, I'm registered, or kind of this challenge, or like, remember the ice bucket challenge when everybody was doing the thing? What if we had some kind of a challenge that, not only am I registered, but I've gotten 3 of my friends to register, or something like that.
Like see like a sticker collection, see how many I voted.
Oh,
get through, yeah.
Uh-huh.
That'd be great, and have some kind of, obviously there'd be an incentive, like, hey, you should come to that concert that we're gonna put on later on, for the get out the vote.
Uh-huh.
You bring your friends and you guys all have stickers and you get, free nachos or something, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it'd be very measurable too.
Right, definitely.
Uh-huh.
Like these ideas.
Hi, Robin.
Hi, Robin.
Hey, Robin, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
So we've talked about nonprofits and enthusiast groups and clubs. What about for-profits?
For-profits,
Yes.
yeah.
I was thinking, because I'm a foodie, I was thinking, what if we could get restaurants involved in some way? Is there a way maybe we could put some of those tabletops, pop-up flyers? Could put some information there, especially if you had a campaign put together with the stickers and.
I like that. Okay, so
Something like
let's
that.
think about your young audience. Like, where do they like to go eat? Do they get pizza? Do they get burgers? Do they get, like, what restaurants do they frequent? Those would be the ones that we would want to think about first.
Right, and then have them see if we can't put something together like you mentioned. If they come in with the I voted sticker, maybe they get a free side or something to that sort.
Right, so yeah, if they would offer any kind of Robin says she'll take some.
Okay. Me too. But no, I like that. So you come back in with my I voted sticker, and I get a special offer at the restaurant, so that drives traffic back to the restaurant.
Right.
So that's certainly a win-win for both audiences.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
like
buy
that.
one get one kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
I'm taking all of these ideas.
And is there any clothing stores that we could, take a look at our audience and figure out where they shop?
Oh.
Could they get,
Uh-huh.
even if it's 10% off, that's worth it. A lot
Like
of
the
the time.
local stores.
Yeah, local stores.
Well, even some of the big ones, maybe they have some leeway. I think even the chain stores. So maybe there'd be some that would be willing to support this effort.
That'd be
I
great.
want to see some stuff in their windows. So think about, some of those stores where people might shop. What if they did some cool window displays about voting? Or if we just had some, something kind of different and cool. Like maybe there's a mannequin with a sign that says, register and vote. Or like, I wonder if we could create some kind of thing like that,
That would
where,
be
and
really
you could
cool.
do some sightings of those where you could take pictures and kind of get some people talking and
If
buzzing
it
about
had
that.
Yeah.
if it was something that had a cool design too, and I'm thinking, what if you just had it in Spanish and English?
Yeah.
So then, I think I wonder if you're specifically targeting this audience, would they be more receptive if it was in Spanish?
Mhm.
Would they like that better?
Yeah, they probably would, but again, youth is my key, and a lot of them are bilingual, so it helps for them to get the message and also be able to share that, like with their parents. If their parents don't speak English, then they're like, well, this is what I just found out, and here's the Spanish version of it, and maybe you should be involved too. Yeah.
That's smart.
Yes,
That'd be great.
definitely, definitely. Is there? Oh, go ahead. Did you have an idea?
Oh, no, well, I was just gonna ask, so that we've talked about a lot of ideas, is there anything that's standing out to you as something you think might really work?
They're
Because
all
we had a
great.
lot of,
They're all great ideas, and I'm thinking I'm gonna take elements of each of one and experiment to see and fill out, see how my audience is receptive to which one they're more receptive for, and then just roll with it. Just all on board with that idea. So they're all pretty great ideas. I like the live. I'm a big fan of live music, so giving them a show is always a good one, and when you feed them, even better, right?
Absolutely.
So definitely that one, and then incorporate the sticker or bring your friend that participated in the vote. That'd be great. Yeah, looking forward to that idea. Yeah.
Well, that was just one of our exercises from one of our Transformotions in a Box. And if you don't know yet what Transformotion in a Box is, it is our quarterly business subscription service where you receive a box each month with a workbook, a suggested reading, and 5 to 8 different multi-sensory items. So that helps you get out of your ruts and come up with bigger, better ideas. And you can order online at our website at transformotioninabox.com. And before we go, we'd like to announce the winners from our last Facebook Live last Thursday. Robin has generously donated these prizes, and our winners are Thomas Hall and Margot Mapes. So congratulations.
And thank you, Robin Bonzal, for those prizes for
Yes.
us to give out.
And we ask that if you'd like to share some input on today's discussion, next week we'll be announcing the winner for an MB Pineland water bottle. So leave your comments, and thanks for joining us.
thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.